I'm Candice Lapin, the founder of the Ladder Method. We are a tutoring company, but we're also a study skills company, and one of the things that we're very well known for is working with kids of all learning profiles. And one of the things that I get called for a lot when we begin with a family is organization. A lot of people you would think would have some of this, done, but a lot of schools don't teach this anymore. And so I think it's like one of the most valuable things that we do with families. And there's all kinds of different schools, and kids come to us with, all kinds of little habits. But I think one of the best things we do is really help kids create something that's workable from the time they are in like 4th, 5th, and 6th grade all the way through high school. So I'm going to go through what I do with students and now many of my tutors. Okay, so I always, even though we're all on laptops, I always like my students to have a 3-ring binder. You can have a bigger 3-ring binder that has all of your subjects in it, but I tend to like one of these where it's, everything stays kind of crisp on the side. I always use dividers. You use 5. If you use 1 notebook per subject, then, it will just depend on the class. For younger kids, I would just limit it to 5. For older kids, they can organize it the way that they see works for them. I have all my tabs labeled. They've been labeled this way since I went to school. I teach kids exactly how I was taught, and I went to a very traditional school in Los Angeles, California. So my first section is labeled notes for parents that are out there. I have a label maker. You can handwrite this. You could type it. But I like these label makers because they make it really easy. They're $19 and under. This is a Brother P-Touch. You can get it on Amazon. You can also get it at Staples. And what I like about it is that depending on your divider, you can just stick it on. It's so easy. They're self-adhesive. So I always label my first tab notes. That's where I have my students put all their loose leaf paper, any notes that they take in class. A lot of kids still handwrite. Some kids type. Some schools only have typing. But you could probably even print out your notes and put it in there, because eventually you're going to have to print out those notes and organize it into something else. So what I like is print out the notes, highlight the notes. Your next tab is going to be homework. So anything that got turned in for homework, got graded, and came back to you should go in the second tab. Your third tab is going to be any kind of other assignment, like a project for my 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. They have reading logs that they have to turn in. They also have book reports. The book report can kind of be its own separate thing, but sometimes more basic or older students just turn in a book report, they get it graded. My next tab is tests, tests and quizzes, and then my last tab is just loose leaf paper and notes. You could also rearrange these, but I like this because, when kids come to us, oftentimes we'll discover that they're just using this for their class, and they use it and they just throw everything in, and then when the teacher says, well, where's that test? You should practice from the test that I gave you. They can't find the test, and they can't find the questions. So what I like to do is get everything back, put it in here, they have it. They could also, some of our kids take this to school and then they file everything away. I like my kids to take the notebook. It really will depend on your child. Rome wasn't built in a day, so sometimes, you're trying to get them from one system to another. As soon as they start to realize this works, they're cool with it. So, can't advocate enough for this. Now, the next thing I always tell parents, especially if you have a child with executive functioning, homework folder. We give all of our kids this homework folder so that they don't forget. It's red, it goes in their backpack, it tells them, hey, there's something in there where I've got to check. I might have something in there. And for my really forgetful kids, I think it's helpful just as a reminder to give them, it's like a gentle reminder during the day. And, as you're working on it, again, when I tell parents that come to us that are like, my child's not turning in his homework. That's a behavior that has to change over time. And, with little subtle reminders, they will get better at it. Not everybody is born with, a strong sense of urgency and things like that. That's just all developed, and we forget that. As adults, you forget, because we're also wired for knowing different things like that, but kids don't have that. And the next thing I always tell my kids, I want a pencil bag. This is our branded stuff. This is what we give our clients. So first thing we send our clients, 2 number 2 pencils. You always need a number 2 pencil because there's ERBs, there's standardized tests, there are ISEEs, there's ACTs, SATs. That never goes away. We recommend 2 blue or black ink pens. We have this highlighter. This has 3 colors. My kids always like colors, my students. You could also do something really simple like this. This is also easy to buy. I like multiple colors. Red pen. I'm a big advocate of hard flashcards. So a lot of our students who have executive functioning problems or tracking issues, Quizlet's a great alternative because they're never going to lose their cards. But there is something so valuable for us when our students handwrite their cards. And I can't stress that enough to parents. Like, I know it seems like, oh, that's so old-fashioned, but it works. And there's a reason it works. And we really encourage our families to just embrace it. This is basic. This is a basic package. This is what all of our students get. If you have any questions, you can always shoot us an email at hello@theladdermethod. And we're happy to answer any questions you might have. And I think that's it for today. Thank you.